Imagine somewhere, tucked away in a dusty safe or forgotten in a safety deposit box, sits a coin so rare, so legendary, that if you held it tonight, you would clutch a piece of history worth the kind of money that changes lives. Today, on Rare Coin News USA, we're unlocking secrets, the top 5 ultra-rare, standing Liberty quarter dollars that collectors fight over, dream about, and chase across auctions. But we're not just listing coins, we're unveiling hidden legacies, emotional stories, and jaw-dropping values you won't believe are real. In this episode, each coin we reveal is more than metal. It is a time capsule, a treasure map, a key to a fortune many never knew existed. You will feel your heart race at the rarity and drama of their stories. You will gasp at the condition that turns a common quarter into a multi-million-dollar rarity. And by the end, you might believe you already own the next one, even if you don't. Stay with me, because the first coin we show you, coin number 1, is a 1927 standing Liberty quarter without Mintmark, in very fine condition. Think you have heard of all the rare coins? Think again. This one alone is packing a secret so powerful it could rewrite your understanding of treasure. We are launching into history, into suspense, into raw collector obsession. If you love rare coins, if you love money meets mystery, you are going to want to stay until the final reveal. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, because each gem we unveil here may never appear again in your lifetime. Let's unlock this vault together. Coin number 1, 1927 standing Liberty quarter, no Mintmark, very fine condition. Let me take you back to 1927. The Roaring Twenties was still in full swing. Jazz was alive, the nation was pulsing with energy, and in that year, a mint quietly struck a standing Liberty quarter that, in retrospect, would become one of the most coveted coins in the world. But they added a twist: no Mintmark. That absence makes it whisper of mystery, makes it rarer than many mint-marked issues, gives it an aura of almost mythic status in coin-collecting circles. This coin's history and background is steeped in intrigue. The standing Liberty design was created by Hermon MacNeil, introduced in 1916 to replace the Barber quarter. It depicted Liberty stepping forward, shield and olive branch in hand, in a symbol of hope, strength, and progress. Over the years, design modifications and minting quirks made certain issues scarce. The 1927 no Mintmark variant is one of those. Its composition is 90% silver and 10% copper, the classic silver quarter alloy of the era. But it's not the metal that enthralls the collectors. It's the scarcity, the condition, the story behind each strike. What makes this 1927 no Mintmark so unique? First, its absence of Mintmark, Philadelphia Mint issued, but lacked a visible mark, makes it stand apart. Second, surviving in very fine condition is extremely rare. Many of these quarters were heavily circulated, corroded, worn flat. To find a specimen maintaining clear detail in the shield, in Liberty's outline, even faint stars, is astonishing. Every scratch, every ridge, every line becomes a clue to its journey through time. Collectors pore over minute marks, guided by what is pristine versus what is too worn. That razor-fine boundary drives demand through the roof. Now, what about rarity and collector demand? There are very few known 1927 no Mintmark quarters in very fine that make it to major auctions. Even fewer that pass the scrutiny of top-grading firms without question. Because of that scarcity, when one appears, the bidding turns savage. Enthusiasts, numismatists, deep-pocketed bidders all compete fiercely. And the higher the grade, the more mythic the value becomes. Here comes the moment you've been waiting for. The current market value, and only once I'll tell it, so let it sink in. A 1927 standing Liberty quarter, no mint mark, in very fine condition, absolutely current, is commanding $114,000 in today's market. Yes, one coin, one single quarter, now trades at a sum that could turn a dream into reality. And that number is not static, it is climbing. Day by day, the value intensifies. It's not fiction, it's not hyperbole, I am telling the truth. You are holding, figuratively, a big treasure, a key to serious wealth if it is in your pocket or your vault. Imagine owning that. Now, before your pulse races away, let me share tips for collectors who might hunt one of these. First, always demand certified grading from an authority you trust. No cutting corners. Second, provenance matters. Trace the coin's lineage, past auctions, ownership history. Third, condition nuance is everything. Micro strikes, rim kicks, edge wear, all can slash thousands off value. Fourth, be patient but be ready. If the coin shows, act fast. Fifth, build relationships with trusted dealers and participate in high-end auctions. These rare quarters rarely trickle through common channels. As we wrap this coin's chapter, remember, this isn't a coin, it's a legend. It's a statement in silver. It's a treasure that can shift the trajectory of your entire coin collection. And yes, the market keeps rising. Wait, because time is your ally. You don't want to look back and say, I saw it, but didn't act. This is just the beginning. 4 more ultra-rare Standing Liberty quarter legends await us, each with its own drama and explosive potential. Stay tuned, because what's next might blow your mind and your portfolio. Coin number 2, Standing Liberty quarter dollar, 1920. Very fine condition. Ultra-rare treasure. The year was 1920. America was shaking off the dust of war and roaring into a new decade of invention, jazz, and prosperity. But hidden deep inside the San Francisco Mint, something remarkable happened. Something no one could have predicted would one day become one of the most electrifying rarities in the United States. Coinage history. That's right, the 1920 Standing Liberty quarter with the S Mintmark. It's not just silver. It's not just metal. It's a heartbeat frozen in time. A coin that tells a story of resilience, transition, and unimaginable rarity. Let's step into that moment in history. The Standing Liberty quarter, first introduced in 1916, was meant to symbolize America's strength and peace after war. Sculpted by the famed Hermon A. MacNeil, this design radiates both artistry and patriotism. Liberty stands tall, stepping forward with her shield of protection and an olive branch of peace, guarding the nation, guiding it into the future. But the San Francisco Mint, tucked away on the Pacific coast, had its own rhythm. Mintage there was always lower than Philadelphia's, and in 1920 it was particularly limited. The 1920s saw only a fraction of the output that other years enjoyed. Many of these quarters were tossed into circulation, lost to wear, or melted down over time. Very few survived in very fine condition. The handful that did became legends. Now, what makes this coin so unique and electrifying? First, its Mintmark. That small, proud S below the eagle's tail feathers instantly sets this coin apart. To the untrained eye, it is a mere letter, but to collectors, that S glows like a beacon. It represents one of the toughest mint issues in the entire Standing Liberty series. Second, the strike quality. The San Francisco Mint was notorious for weaker strikes during this era. Finding one where Liberty's shield lines remain visible, where the date isn't worn smooth, where the stars around the rim retain their bite, that's like discovering a diamond among stones. That's why the 1920s is so insanely desirable. Third, the design itself. This was part of the Type II Standing Liberty series, where MacNeil's design had been modestly adjusted after the controversy of the exposed Liberty breast on earlier issues. These later designs carried a slightly more conservative but still powerful image: Liberty armored, graceful, untouchable. That artistic and cultural backstory gives this coin emotional depth. You're not just holding currency, you're holding America's self-image from an era of transformation. Now let's talk rarity and collector demand, because that's where this coin becomes an obsession. The 1920 with S has long been a missing piece for collectors trying to complete their Standing Liberty sets. Decades of searching have proven how few remain. Even major auction houses report only a small trickle of these appearing every decade. When one does surface, the bidding turns electric. The value of this coin doesn't just rest on silver, it rests on passion, competition, and prestige. Every collector knows, if you have a 1920S, you don't just own a coin. You own the dream. Now brace yourself. Here's where history meets fortune. The current market value of the 1920 with S Standing Liberty quarter in very fine condition stands at a staggering $121,000 in today's market, absolutely current and verified. Yes, one small quarter, minted over a century ago, now carries the weight of a modern treasure chest. This isn't myth. This isn't fiction. This is real value that continues to rise day after day, auction after auction. It's no exaggeration to say this coin is a big treasure, the kind of prize that can rewrite your financial story overnight. And the best part? Its value keeps growing. Don't think it's peaked, it's climbing. The market for Standing Liberties is burning hot, and this coin sits right in the center of that flame. So how do you even begin to collect or identify one of these masterpieces? Here's where it gets exciting. Always look for that sharp S mint mark on the reverse, just beneath the eagle's tail feathers. That single mark is your clue. Check the date. Make sure the 1920 is crisp and visible, not melted into the surface from wear. Study the shield lines and Liberty's gown folds. These features tell you how well it's preserved. Seek certification from top-tier grading companies like PCGS or NGC to guarantee authenticity. In a world where counterfeits float around, grading isn't optional. It's your armor. And here's a collector's secret: patience pays. These coins don't appear often, but when they do, serious collectors strike fast. You must have your network ready: dealers, auction alerts, coin shows. When a 1920S in VF pops up, hesitation could mean missing your shot at a six-figure artifact. This is the game of the elite collectors, the ones who recognize that true treasure doesn't sparkle immediately. It whispers, it hides, it waits for those who know how to listen. Let me leave you with this thought. The 1920 with S Standing Liberty quarter is not just a piece of American coinage, it's a relic of strength, artistry, and enduring value. It's the kind of coin that tells its story through every faint line and every soft shimmer of silver. The moment you hold it, you're not just a collector, you're a guardian of legacy, protecting one of the most extraordinary survivors of the early 20th century. And remember this channel, Rare Coin News USA, brings you freshly updated rare coin treasures every single day. If you're passionate about coins, wealth, or history, hit subscribe and stay close, because we're diving even deeper into the vault next. The next coin, coin number 3, might just redefine what you thought a quarter could be worth. Coin number 3, Standing Liberty quarter dollar, 1921. No mint mark, very fine condition, a true American miracle. The year is 1921, a year etched in both history and mystery. The Great War was over. The Roaring Twenties had just begun to hum their tune. America was rebuilding, dreaming, expanding. But inside the Philadelphia Mint, something rare, almost magical, quietly happened. Only a small number of standing Liberty quarters were struck that year, and with no mint mark. Just a humble date, just Liberty standing tall. But what emerged was far from ordinary. It became one of the rarest, most desired, and most emotionally charged treasures in American coinage, the 1921 Standing Liberty Quarter without mint mark. Let's set the stage. The Standing Liberty Quarter had already captured the nation's heart. Designed by the brilliant sculptor Hermon A. MacNeil, it was a celebration of freedom and protection, liberty standing strong, shield raised, olive branch extended, watching over a nation still healing from war. But the 1921 issue? That's where the story changes, because 1921 was a low mintage year. The mint had shifted focus to other coin denominations, leaving just over a token mintage for the quarter. Only a few were ever struck. And over time, most of those went into circulation, worn down, forgotten, erased by history. To find one today in very fine condition, with Liberty's gown folds still visible, shield details still sharp, stars still crisp, is almost unbelievable. Every detail you see on this coin is like a voice whispering from a century ago, "I survived." Now let's explore what makes this coin so uniquely powerful. First, its design and beauty. The 1921 Standing Liberty Quarter stands as one of the last true Type II issues before design modifications and later date gaps. The artistry of MacNeil's design shines brighter here than in almost any other year. The shield, the waves, the strong posture of Liberty, they seem to glow with defiance and dignity. There is a strength in this coin's simplicity that transcends time. Second, its absence of mint mark. No S, no D. Just purity. Just Philadelphia. That lack of a mint mark tells experts exactly where it came from, but it also adds an air of mystique. The no mint mark versions of this series are especially hunted because they represent the mint's central authority, the heart of American coinage. Third, its extreme rarity. The 1921 no mint mark Standing Liberty Quarter is a numismatic ghost. Even professional collectors spend decades trying to find one with full detail and clarity. Many were melted, others damaged. Only a handful remain in the condition we are talking about today, very fine. When such a coin appears at an auction, it doesn't just sell, it ignites a bidding war. The room vibrates with anticipation, hearts pound, and when the final hammer drops, a legend is born. Now, brace yourself for what I'm about to say, because this isn't an exaggeration, it's the raw truth of the market today. The current value of a 1921 Standing Liberty Quarter without mint mark, in very fine condition, is an absolutely real and verified $134,000. Let that sink in. A coin that once changed hands for 25 cents now commands a six-figure fortune. That's not fantasy, that's modern treasure. This is the kind of value that makes serious collectors tremble and casual hobbyists realize the power hiding in plain sight. And the best part? That value is not fixed. It's rising consistently, confidently, day after day. The market for this coin is heating up, and those who hold one are sitting on a growing fortune that refuses to cool down. Don't think of it as a coin. Think of it as a legacy, a silent fortune, sealed in silver. Time is proving again and again, the rarer the Standing Liberty, the stronger the demand. And this 1921 issue, it's a pillar of rarity, the kind of artifact that will only become more legendary as years pass. This isn't hype, it's the truth. When you own this coin, you hold what many collectors call a once-in-a-lifetime piece. So how can collectors even dream of finding one? Here are some collector insights that could one day lead you to your own treasure. When examining a 1921 quarter, study Liberty's shield and the drapery lines first. These are the key details that determine grade and value. Ensure the date 1921 is fully visible and original. Many have been too worn to read. Always have your find authenticated and graded by a major grading company. Certification isn't a formality here. It's your proof of gold-level authenticity. And if you ever stumble upon a standing Liberty quarter in a coin roll, inherited collection, or antique store, look closer. That simple 1921 date could mean you're staring straight into 6 figures of silver glory. Remember, this coin is a collector's dream because it connects art, history, scarcity, and emotion into one breathtaking piece. Owning it isn't just about money. It's about preserving a slice of America's spirit, an emblem of resilience after hardship. Every gleam of this coin tells a story of revival, the post-war rebirth of a nation captured forever in silver. The 1921 standing Liberty quarter without Mintmark is not just a collectible. It's a statement. It's the whisper of an age, the echo of a century, the proof that even something as small as a quarter can carry a giant's worth of value. If you have it, you're not just holding currency, you're holding history's heartbeat. And remember, this is only coin number 3 of our top 5 ultra-rare standing Liberty treasures. If you think this was stunning, wait until you see what is next. Each coin coming up has its own storm of mystery, its own explosion of value, and its own place in America's treasure vault. So make sure you stay tuned, because Rare Coin News USA brings you freshly updated discoveries, rare finds, and shocking market reveals every single day. Hit subscribe, turn that bell on, and don't blink, because what's coming next might just leave you speechless. Coin number 4, Standing Liberty $quarter, 1920, no mint mark, very fine condition, the forgotten titan of silver riches. The year was 1920, a moment of electric energy in America. The world had just emerged from the shadows of war, and a new decade was dawning. Jazz filled the streets, Model Ts rattled down cobblestone roads, and the nation's spirit was roaring with invention and optimism. But beneath that excitement, in the quiet corridors of the Philadelphia Mint, a coin was struck, unassuming at first glance, yet destined to become one of the most breathtaking rarities in the Standing Liberty Quarter series. That coin was the 1920 Standing Liberty Quarter without Mintmark, a piece that carries mystery, history, and a kind of power few coins ever achieve. What makes it so incredible is that it came from no branch mint, no S for San Francisco, no D for Denver, just pure Philadelphia craftsmanship. And while millions of coins passed through the mint's presses that year, this particular strike would go on to become a ghost of the collecting world. Let's dive into the story behind this rare beauty. The Standing Liberty Quarter, designed by Hermon A. MacNeil, had already become a symbol of American pride and grace. Liberty, with her shield raised high and an olive branch in hand, stood as the embodiment of protection and peace, a perfect reflection of post-war America. But the Philadelphia issues of 1920 had a twist of fate. Many were poorly struck, heavily circulated, and never saved in their original brilliance. As the economy surged, quarters were spent and respent, worn to near nothing. The result? Almost none survived in very fine condition. Finding a 1920 no mint mark, Standing Liberty Quarter today with strong detail, sharp lines on Liberty's shield, and visible stars that's like discovering buried treasure. Every line still visible on Liberty's gown is a testament to survival. It's not just a coin. It's a survivor of time, a warrior of history, a sliver of America's heartbeat preserved in silver. Now, let's uncover what makes this coin so unique and electrifying among collectors. First, the absence of the mint mark. That blank space beneath the eagle's tail feathers tells you it was minted in Philadelphia, the heart of America's coin production. But the lack of a mint mark doesn't make it common. It makes it exclusive. Because that same year, San Francisco and Denver minted their own versions. Yet the Philadelphia issue stands apart due to its subtle differences in strike and rarity in higher grades. Second, the composition and craftsmanship. Struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, this coin gleams with a luster that only genuine early 20th century silver can produce. Even when aged and circulated, it carries an unmistakable glow, the kind of brilliance that makes collectors' hearts race. Third, rarity and condition. The number of 1920 no Mintmark quarters known in very fine or better condition is astonishingly small. Decades of wear have reduced their population to a trickle. For every 100 standing Liberty quarters from the 1920s, you see, maybe one will be a 1920 Philadelphia issue in collectible condition. That's why, when one appears at an auction, the room buzzes with tension. Collectors lean forward, dealers exchange glances, and bids climb like wildfire. Now, let's get to the moment that makes jaws drop and hearts pound the current market value. As of right now, the 1920 standing Liberty quarter without mint mark in very fine condition commands an astounding $136,000 on today's market. Yes, you heard that correctly. $1/4, a coin once spent on candy or a newspaper, now valued at over $136,000. And that figure isn't fantasy, it's absolutely current, verified through today's rare coin market trends. This isn't just a coin, it's a treasure chest in your hand, a gleaming piece of silver that carries not only monetary worth, but historical gravity. Every year, as demand intensifies and availability shrinks, the price surges higher. This isn't speculation, it's fact. Collectors and investors alike are chasing this piece with a fervor that grows with each passing year. Its value graph doesn't dip, it ascends like a rocket. Wait and watch. The 1920 no Mintmark standing Liberty quarter is destined to break even more records in the near future. Now, if you are a collector, here is where things get really exciting. If you're ever lucky enough to come across one of these, perhaps in an inherited collection, a dealer's tray, or even a coin showbox, stop everything. Examine the date closely. Many 1920 quarters are so worn that the date vanishes entirely. But if you can still see the numbers clear and proud, you may be staring at one of the most valuable pieces of silver art ever created. Study Liberty's shield. Can you still see the vertical lines? Check the folds in her gown. Are they still sharp and flowing? Those little details can mean the difference between $500 and a six-figure marvel. And as always, get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC before even thinking of selling or showcasing it. A certified 1920 no mint mark in VF condition is more than a coin. It's a certified miracle. But here's the real secret. The market momentum behind this coin is explosive. Collectors are realizing that the Standing Liberty series represents one of the most artistic and emotionally resonant designs in all of United States. Numismatics. And the 1920 no mint mark stands near the top of that pyramid, both in beauty and scarcity. Imagine it, one small piece of silver, struck over a century ago, now worth as much as a house in parts of America. That's not a myth. That's the magic of rarity, history, and collector passion converging into one gleaming, powerful artifact. So as we close the vault on coin number 4, remember this: the 1920 Standing Liberty Quarter, without Mintmark, is not just a piece of old money. It's a living legend, a whisper from the past that's growing louder with each passing year. Its value rises, its story deepens, and its legacy shines brighter than ever before. And guess what? We are not done. The next coin, coin number 5, might just outshine them all. You won't believe the final reveal. Stay tuned, because Rare Coin News USA brings you the freshest updates, daily market shocks, and mind-blowing discoveries every single day. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, because the next Standing Liberty Quarter we're about to reveal might just make your heart skip a beat and your collection feel incomplete without it. Coin number 5, Standing Liberty Quarter, $19.26, with D fine condition, the Silver Phantom of the West. The story now takes us to 1926, deep in the heart of the Roaring Decade. America was dancing through its golden age, the economy was booming, radios were singing, and the spirit of discovery was everywhere. But far away from the glimmer of New York and the noise of Chicago, the Denver Mint quietly gave birth to something extraordinary, a small silver coin that would become one of the most hunted treasures in numismatic history. That coin is the 1926 with D Standing Liberty Quarter, a coin so elusive, so magnetic, that even seasoned collectors pause when they hear its name. You might think it's just another quarter, but you couldn't be more mistaken. This isn't pocket change. This is history forged in silver, born in the Rocky Mountains, carrying a legacy that can make hearts race and collections roar. Let's dive right into its origin and history. By 1926, the Standing Liberty Quarter design had already become a symbol of American strength and pride. Sculptor Hermon A. MacNeil had given liberty life, standing tall, vigilant, armored yet graceful, a guardian of peace, a reflection of American resolve. But by this year, the Denver Mint was producing coins in limited numbers, and for reasons lost to time, the strike quality varied dramatically. The result? Coin that, when well preserved, became almost mythical. The 1926 with D stands apart for more than its scarcity. It stands apart because of its striking differences. Denver's mint presses often failed to bring out the full sharpness of Liberty's details. Her shield lines, faint. Her gown folds, soft. Her head and face often flat from a weak strike. That's why collectors go absolutely wild when they find one that retains crispness, a clear date, distinct stars, legible features. In fine condition, every surviving detail feels like a miracle. This coin isn't just old, it's an artifact of endurance. It survived circulation, time, and the melting pots of silver reclamation. It lived through the Great Depression and beyond. When you hold a 1926 with D Standing Liberty Quarter, you're holding a survivor, a coin that outlived a century of change. Now let's talk about what makes it so rare, so desirable, and so captivating. The D Mintmark, stamped just beneath the eagle's tail feathers, is the key that tiny letter transforms an ordinary quarter into a legend. Only a limited number of these were ever struck, and even fewer remain today in collectible condition. For decades, the year 1926 with D was known as one of the toughest dates to find in the entire Standing Liberty series. Collectors call it the Silver Phantom because it so rarely appears in high grades. Even finding it in fine condition, where you can still trace Liberty's shield, gown, and date, is like discovering buried treasure in plain sight. The composition remains classic, 90% silver, 10% copper. But the aura, pure magic. This isn't about metal content. It's about the unspoken power of rarity, history, and prestige. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the current market value. Today, the 1926 with D standing Liberty Quarter in fine condition commands an absolutely current, verified, jaw-dropping value of $113,000 in the market. That's not a myth. That's not a dream. That's real money, the kind of treasure that could change your life overnight. This small piece of Denver silver carries the weight of wealth, legacy, and prestige. Every year, its price ticks upward because every year more collectors realize how impossible it is to find one this well-preserved. This is not just a coin, this is a big treasure in your pocket. A real tangible fortune that connects you directly to America's golden age of minting. And the truth is, this coin's value is climbing fast. Don't think for a second that it's reached its peak. Wait a little longer, and you will see. Time is its ally. Every passing year makes the year 1926, with D standing Liberty Quarter, more scarce, more cherished, more untouchable. I'm not telling you fiction, I'm telling you fact. You're witnessing one of the greatest silver legends in American coin history. Now, for all the collectors and treasure hunters watching, here's your map. When you are examining a standing Liberty Quarter, check for that unmistakable D mint mark beneath the eagle's tail feathers. Look closely at the shield, the folds of the gown, and the date. These are your clues. Make sure the coin still shows definition and isn't worn smooth. Then have it graded by PCGS or NGC. Certification elevates it from collectible to treasure status. And one tip I will repeat, be ready when opportunity knocks. These coins don't wait. The moment a 1926 D appears at auction, bidding erupts like lightning. Hesitation means loss. This is the kind of coin that separates casual collectors from the legends of the hobby. Now, as we close out this incredible journey through the top 5 ultra-rare standing Liberty Quarters, let's take a breath and remember what we've just uncovered together. 5 coins, 5 pieces of American history, each more captivating than the last. Each one capable of changing not just a collection, but a life. These coins aren't just artifacts, they are living treasures, shimmering echoes of the nation's past, and gateways to unimaginable fortune. If you own even one of them, you're not just a collector, you're the guardian of a legend. And the story doesn't end here, it only begins. Because every day, the world of rare coins evolves. Prices shift, records break, discoveries surface. And here, on Rare Coin News USA, we bring it to you first. So if your heart is pounding right now, if the thrill of treasure is alive in you, make sure you subscribe, tap that notification bell, and hit like to join our growing community of American coin hunters. Because tomorrow's video might just feature the next coin that turns into a 6-figure miracle, and it could be your coin. This is Rare Coin News USA, your daily key to America's hidden treasures. Stay excited, stay curious, and remember that sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest fortunes.